Okay, so here I'm looking at how to become a business consulting freelancer, and most of this note was taken as in a mix between Spanish and English. Uh, and here I am. So after I looked the entire uh, uh, models, by starting building a freelance consulting career, and before that, I started to see this is because well, I as a service provider, especially as a software Node.js developer, focus on Vue and Nux uh, applications. I wanted to know how to become a business consulting freelancer and what are the things, the foundation to start building a freelance consulting career, then getting started as a freelance consulting career, a place where you can find and land high paying consulting clients. So this course is something that I begin to look at March 10, 2022. This date notation is a Spanish notation. That's why you have is here the day, the month, and the year. Okay, so I have like 9 months, 10 months, almost looking at this and understanding is the fundamental of starting building a freelance consulting career, and that is what are the tasks that a consulting does, uh, the foundation of consulting success, like cash flow, the flexibility that this lifestyle gives you, and the security by having multiple sources of income, uh, and also is well the type of project that you can do, and some tips that help you to know how to get and how to earn the most from your expertise, suggestions, uh, and then look at the consultate or the productivity to or the tips, productivity tips, like focusing on one thing, don't do multitasking, eliminate distractions, find a way to get in your same zone, and don't forget to take breaks. And also, when it comes to decision making, how to use the Eisenhower matrix for dealing with the things that are important and urgent today, things that are important but not urgent, schedule, things that are urgent but not important, delegate, and ultimately things that are not important or urgent, you don't do that. And then I look at the getting started as freelance consulting career, and this is will identify your weakness and strength and choose a profitable niche. And a niche is not a bunch of keyword, it's actually people where they have a large problem to solve, they actively look into a solution, there are people that are willing to pay for the solution, and ultimately it must have something you have interest in. So then I look at align yourself with a particular platform on that niche. The mistake to avoid when choosing a niche, and you're gonna stick with that, you're gonna stop with that niche forever. Target a multiple niche at once, copying other without integrating that with yourself. And when it comes to align yourself with the platform, it's like targeting multiple platforms at once, uh, going with a platform that you not enjoy using, and going with a platform that is not on demand. So then, so once I look at the niche, choose a profitable niche, and then uh, align yourself with an established platform. Now I look after that I saw is how to create an offer. And the idea here is that by using something called value statement that help you to simplify your offering, because the client is not paying you for the hours you put, it's for the outcome it gets. So then I look at to understand the scope of the work, and for that is define clear deliverables. For that, be huge in communications, and ask how success is going to be measured. So once you understand that, then the idea here is to, once you offer your service, since you have two way of price your offering, as an hourly rate, or as a or per milestone. All right. So the holy grail of all business, according to Paul Mendes, the CEO to Mastery Structure, is any consultant that are having tremendous success, more often than not, they have some recurring clients or recurring revenue, which is they have a bunch of clients where they pay for their service on a monthly basis. And that's the holy grail of this, the business, the consulting business. Now, uh, then I look at the value ladder, which help you, especially when you're starting out, to identify your different couple options. For example, your lower level of offering, like your consultation for free, and this is to help you identify what the client problem is, see if you're a really good match for them, see if you can provide the value that they are seeking. Uh, Once you push the client up the value ladder, you can start then offering is perhaps a package or a project audit. All right, this is just a guideline, this value ladder, but it's going to, so it's up to you to see how you can apply that in your particular field. But the whole structure is that your lowest level of offering is perhaps it might be your consultation, and then once the client agreed to start to work with you, you can start to offering is a project audit. So once you outline is the roadmap based on your suggestions and the implementation you need to set to solve the client problem, then you can tell the client, hey, we would like you to offer is a 10-hour package. And after that, you may negotiate with the client to provide your service on a monthly basis. So you have these four ladders or four uh, steps on the ladder that can help you to give shape a little bit more about your offer. So then I also saw is that to make you look much more professional and to avoid some pain, misunderstanding down the line is uh, and avoid some mistakes down the line. Okay. Is to start to create your service agreement. So for example, here, service agreement, like here, okay. Mm, this service agreement, where you're going to align is the project overview, the scope of the work, the project timeline, the terms of termination, compensation, and other agreements. So once you get the real, or the idea here is to get the real feedback and adapt your offer when needed and push up the client of the value ladder. This is to wrap up the second module of getting started as a freelance consultant. Okay, so where are the places where you can find clients? That is the next module here. You look at this. Is this how to find and land high-paying consulting client to get real feedback from the market? And here, to an overview of this is, well, uh, first once you know what consulting business once you know what consulting business is, and then you narrow down to a specific consulting niche, and you create an offer, it is time to put that at practice to get some real feedback. Uh, in Before diving into that, I look at the mistake to avoid, especially when uh, find and landing high-paying consulting clients, like building a website. So your focus on your portfolio is getting some clients under your belt fit. This. So why building a website is a mistake? Because the usual focus is on your portfolio and getting clients under your belt. The other is running paid ads because you don't have your entire process worked out. You need to you need to first find and land real clients organically, so you down the line you can use paid ads for that. And ultimately, it's like not focusing on your skills, because your reputation is what other clients will use to decide they're gonna work with you, right? And then take a step back before you agree on any project that is not aligned with the type of skill set you want to focus on. And make sure you only reach out to the right type of project for you, right? So how to land and drive clients, and again, this is most likely to, especially if you're new to the field, the idea here is to tell the clients that even though that you are new to the field, you are driven to provide exceptional results to build your image as a consultant. And because of that, well, you can adjust your price. And the idea here is to reach to a mutually beneficial agreement by being transparent. Okay. So where are the places you can find consulting clients? Upwork, the warm, the words, the top work marketplace, which is an on-demand platform to connect freelancers with clients. You also can find in your existing network. This is very narrow, contextual, very specific, because depending on where you live, if you live in Pakistan or Venezuela, it is very hard to try to find consulting clients in your own network. Okay, it's not impossible, but it's very contextual. And the idea here is that once you have a great record of every interaction that you're having with any potential client or sell leads, okay, and as you get started busy, which is a great thing if you're prepared to, it is important to use something called the CRM, Customer Relationship Management. Hotspot is a platform that allows you to keep track each one of those interactions and get full visibility of your sales funnel. And they offering is you things like scheduled meetings, email tracking, notification, prospect trackings, and so on. So the point of this is that you are building relationship. So you're not doing is one project once in a blue moon. You are here is to the more project, so the more successful project you can get done, the better record you have with any clients, the better off will be for you, right? And so then I look at how can we use, for example, this CRM like Hotspot and other place. And there is a reason why this is in the third place of employment side. These are not aligned 100% of the freelance consulting, but it can help you to kind of get your feet wet, get your foot in the door. So once down the line, you can start to create and offering your consulting service. And then I look at the tips for landing high paying clients. It is a numbers game. The idea here is to focus on what you're doing right now and am I putting myself in the best possible position. And the other is show your face. That's the reason why I'm doing this. It's like show your face. Okay? It's like show your face. The client needs to understand the difference between your digital avatar from the real you. Here I'll also look at high paying clients versus high paying client, especially on Upwork when they don't have good review, and a case study specifically for marketing. And then the section where I dedicate the most of my time, and that is the consultation sell tips to land more clients. The reason of this, of why I dedicate so much time of this, since I am a software developer, right? And now I'm getting to the field of marketing and business. So this is a new marketing and sales specifically. So this is a new field of myself, and you like it or not, you'll have to be pragmatic, and the entire ecosystem will push you to become a uh, a marketer and a salesman or a saleswoman, right? So this consultation sell tips to land more additional clients. First is listen more, because most of the time freelancers go on about why they're a good fit for the job they apply, any past experience that they have that are similar to the job they are applying, but they forgot about what really matters. And this is listen to the client. The more you're able to listen to the client, uh, the more you're able to read their body language, because perhaps the client is not telling you the truth. So you can use all of those fact finding to kind of guide you where the conversation is heading, and from there land additional more. Then I also look at the use speed. So well, so make sure that you're ready for the job and for that interview to land more clients. The other is solution selling process. This is a topic where I dedicated again perhaps the last 3 months, because this is now the sales aspect of a company, right? Of any person, of this a salesman. So this solution selling process tells that diagnosing the prospect needs and then offer the right product or service to solve the challenge that they have. The idea here is that instead of focusing is on the project, focusing is on the problem that you solve here. Focusing is on the solution that you bring here. And the point here is that the client needs to understand that in their head they're going to pass through a transformation, and that transformation is going to be you guiding them, or the consultant guiding them through the problem to solve that. And then I look. So once I dive deep into the solution selling process, okay, which is a methodology that was developed by Frank Watt in 1975 at one laboratories, once one of the largest manufacturing, once one of the largest computer manufacturing in the world. It was founded in 1951 by N1 in the United States, specifically headquartered in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And then they move on to Dewsbury in Lowell, Massachusetts. And it was the leading company during the time of the Massachusetts Miracle. So the company, it was passed down to their son, but their son was not all the necessary skill relevant to maintain the company and the legacy. But it was acquired. This it was acquired by Getronic of Netherlands in 1990, becoming Getronic North America, and it was sold to KPN. It's a Dutch landline and mobile telecommunication, and Compocom in 2008. So it was passed down through several companies, uh, but the whole idea of this, looking at one laboratory and Frank Watts, who developed this methodology, and then present that to the IBA and Xerox. So this methods works for any business to business where the client needs, or when your prospect or sell leads. This is for any business to business where there is a sell process, whether it's a sell leads or a prospect that need a tailored solution instead of something off the shelf. Uh, and this solution selling process identify is a need or an opportunity. Uh, and then I look at the ad free value. And this doesn't mean that you should work for a free. In fact, it's going above and beyond. So going up and beyond to do what your neighbor aren't doing. And this is something that you perhaps tell to the client and say, hey, I already put this together for you. Can I show you what I'm thinking about it? The idea here is to understand that the more you keep doing this, things like listening more, use speed, solution selling, and add free value, the more likely you will get clients, and you will reach a point where you are so busy uh, and you need to decide which one of the best is for you. So, and again, be an active listener, and once you put your business glass here, uh, is see yourself as that missing piece to complete the client puzzle, the problem, the client problems. And this solution selling process, it all starts by identify your prospects. Okay, so that's when you find the right client and you start to reach out to them and you try to get in front of them to get their attention. Then you qualify them. This is when you look to all the clients and different prospects and figuring out what is a good fit for you. And this is all about asking the right questions uh, to see if you can solve the client expectations. And then the demo and discovery call. This is to do even more fact findings about the type of clients and ultimately see if you uh, can we work together, can we move on with this, or this is gonna end right there so I can move on into the next project. and then add value and send a proposal. This is when you have reached to some sort of agreement with the client, and it tells you, hey, awesome, send me some information about it, and uh, no, I I'm going to hold you back. Uh, and this is so once you reach some sort of agreement with the client, uh, and the client tells you, well, yes, send me some information more about what you want to do, and this is when you use all of your expertise and suggestions. Perhaps you're offering is different options where they can pick. So the idea of this, even though Paul Mendes recommend follow this approach, otherwise you might get burned quickly and unmotivated. Okay. So the key takeaway of this solution selling process is something that I described, like is diagnosing the need of a prospect and then recommending the right product or service to solve the challenge they're having. You can also take the approach of identifying opportunity for prospect and pitching them that way while using the solution selling methodology. A key part of the solution selling is identify problems that prospects are having and use this method in any business to business sell process whereby you got a prospect and sell leads and a client that need a tailoring solution, whether a product or service, rather than something off the shelf that doesn't require a sales strategy or process to sell. So half the battle half the battle is to tackle objections. And this is all going down to being an active listener, ask the right questions, and be on point. So once you get down to the real objection, okay. So once you get down to the real objection, that's what you can handle it by exactly. So once you get down to the real objection, you can then handle by letting them know the truth that matters and that you have the solution for their problem, right? Part of the negotiation and persuasion here. So it all these objections can be boiled down into budget, time, and value. So if the problem is value, you might show is your previous yeah you might show is your previous work that you have done in the past. Uh, if that is the problem is if the objection is budget, well, you might offer is a low service for that. Always following up consistently because the client you want to know you want to always be on top of their mind in their clients and that you are eager to do business. So if you use speed and follow up, you can be in another league, and this comes from you. Are you dedicated, ready to follow? Do you have a CRM with reminders to keep up on top of their mind? If you don't do that, a lot of the time you're gonna lose that job because someone else is following up. Following up. And the other is get creative to stand out, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. Right? Getting creative, and by creative is well showing myself, see my entire process of learning all the different course that I have dedicated here, like Node as a Node.js developer, and with the finance as well, and right now with how to become a business consulting freelancer, and strengthen your portfolio. So once you tackle all the objections and you follow and you know the reason why you should follow up, then I look at how to handle client payments, because this is a very sensitive topic for most freelancers in consulting, and to avoid most common of those errors, it is important to get control of it from the start. So first is get service agreement signed. So this service agreement, okay. Oh yeah. So this service agreement, this outline exactly what you're gonna provide, meaning that there are no surprise, so the client is going to be aware of that. Never guarantee any result. Important. So never guarantee any result. Simply put that you're going to provide the best effort possible to provide the high quality consulting service for the client. Interest in this, especially when you look to any other service that are like that. They'll never guarantee any result. Simply put that you're going to provide the best effort to give you a high quality outcomes for your consulting service. And the other is clearly define the payment terms, and any additional fee that occur is something out of the scope. Clearly define the payment terms, and any additional fee that occur is something out of the scope. If the client wants to do something outside of this, you will need to get paid. What are you going to provide for the client, and what the client is going to expect from you. And then you have is a secure payment based on terms, and this is all about whether whatever service agreement you with your client is, you can do this by handle on what you're providing to the client, the size of the project, the length of the project. And again, I'm reading right now because this is all the things that I'm starting to ponder and understand this. So don't start the project without getting the payment handled. If you're working hourly, you probably want to do that weekly or bi-weekly. If you say you need 50% upfront and the client comes with an excuse, tell them you can't. Uh-huh, tell them you can start working on the project without their payment secure. So this is how to handle client payments. Get the service agreement signed. See, and this is something that, for example, anyone that is when you sign for a new job, they make you to sign, depending on the type of project, an NDA, for example. All right, the service get service agreement signed, and then the secure payment based on the terms, based on the provider you're going to, the value that you're going to provide, the outcomes. In the service agreement, never guarantee any results. Simply put, that you're going to provide the best effort to guarantee a high quality outcome, and also focus on that. And when it comes to begin providing your consulting service, is that don't start the project without getting that payment handled. If you're working hourly, you will probably want to do that weekly or bi-weekly. So if you say you need 50% upfront and the client comes with an excuse, tell them that you can start working on the project without that payment secure. Now, uh, this was a huge overview of all the topic that I have learned so far in this course and how to become a business consulting freelancer, right? From zero to mastery, and I see you around. We'll see you on the next video.